morning, everyone. Thank you. Well, let's go ahead and get started just like usual. Seated or standing, just make sure you're really lengthening through that spine. Okay, we're going to chin tuck for 10. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Maintaining that length through the spine. We're going to do our head turns. Okay. 5 per side, always coming back in the center between. Okay. Here we go. Turn, center, turn, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. We're going to go onto our time format. We're going to start with cat cow. Okay, seated or standing. If you're seated, like I'm going to do for round 1, you can be closer towards the edge of the chair. I'm going around and untuck. Okay, or like usual, you can stand. Place your hands right here on the chair. Okay, round and untuck. Okay, whatever feels best. Round 1, I always do seated. Here we go. Ready? And begin. Going to rounds. And we're thinking about warming up our spine here, right? All the vertebrae, moving them. Getting some movement through the neck and the thoracic spine. That's like that, you know, your middle and upper back there. Just moving through it the way it wants to. Okay, not forcing anything. We're just warming up here. Okay, next one is our 4 count cherry pickers. So here's up, strength the feet are a little bit wider. Okay, you're either standing up or you're seated, and we're going to reach outwards, middle, and up. Okay, go at a pace that's good for you. Just feeling the back side of the body warming up here. Seated, you're going to feel a little more of your lumbar spine, your lower back warming up here. If you're standing, you're going to feel it in your lower back and your hamstrings. It shouldn't feel like pain. It should just feel like, you know, some little bit of stretching here. Okay, just warming up. All right, our next move is going to be our lateral 2-step to knee raise. Okay, so step together, step, knee. Okay, or step together, step, knee. Step together, step, knee. I have to do it a little different. Seated. And make sure we're moving forward and back, side to side, and in rotation patterns, right? We move all of these ways in real life for 3-dimensional. And time, good. And our last one is our rotational move. We're going to do 4 crossbody reaches, okay, 2 per side, and then 4 diagonal reaches, 3 and 4. Now, if you're standing, you're going to feel a little more of a pivot on that back foot. But because when you're seated, you just don't really get the pivot the same because of the bend through the hip flexors there. You should feel a nice stretch all through that upper back and that waist. And time. But that's round 1. Okay, so we're going to do it 2 more times. All right, so starting with the cat cow. If you're seated and you prefer to stay that way, please do. And if you're standing and want to stay that way or move to standing, here we go. So I'm staying really focused here. Okay, I'm thinking about the movement that I'm creating through my spine, that arching and tugging, feeling your neck go up. And then your chin tucked down, as well as your glutes kind of tucking and untucking, right? Time. Okay, back to those 4 count cherry pickers, either seated or standing. Feet are about shoulder width apart here, a little bit wider. We're reaching outwards, middle, in, and up. Again, use a pace that's comfortable for you. You don't want to get dizzy with the up and down, okay? And you don't have to force your fingertips to the ground if they don't want to go down there, okay? It's just about that dynamic movement. We're warming up, getting the blood flow to the different muscle groups. 2 and 1. Good. Our next one is our lateral 2-step to knee raise. Okay. Ready? And begin. It's step together, step. Fun one. I feel like I could do this all day long.
Yeah.
It's just kind of fun. Okay. Last one. This next one's a fun one too. It's going to be our 4, 2 per side. Okay. And then 2 per side up. Okay. Here we go. Remember, if you're seated, you're not going to see that pivot on that back foot as much as you are if you're standing. If you push through your palm when you're doing this, you're going to feel an increase in your stretch through your back, the back of your rib cage. 10 more seconds here. And then we're going through it one more time. And time on that one. Okay. Back to the top with our cat-cow. Final round through, seated or standing. Ready, and begin. Again, we're really focused on feeling that spine and that movement that we're creating through it. Two, 1. Okay, all done with those. Final set of our 4-count cherry pickers. Seated or standing, feet or shoulder width or just a little bit wider. Reaching outwards, middle, and up. Good. About 10 more seconds here, and then we're going to go into our lateral 2-step to knee raise. And time, okay. All right, remember, step together, step knee, and if you're seated, it's the lateral, it's 2 abduction, opposite knee. Ready, here we go. Step together, step. Got 5 more seconds here. Time, and then our final set of our 4 2 per side crossbody reach up into 4 per side, or I'm sorry, 2 per side diagonal reach. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, if you push slightly through that palm, you might feel that back, especially right behind the rib cage, stretch a little bit more. 2 and 1. Good, all right, there's a warm up, guys. So go ahead and get a drink, all right? We're gonna go into our first block. It's gonna be a 45, 15, 9 minutes long. And just like last week, we are going to do sumo squat or a sit squat. You have an option here, okay, for the standing ones. Okay, and I'll show you your seated ones here too, okay? So You can either do, if you're gonna do sumo, remember your heels, this part of your heel is right in line with the outside of your shoulder here, okay? My toes are facing outward. And as I sit down, my knees stay in the direction of my toes. They don't cave in, okay? So we would keep the weight between. Okay, we'd tap down, drive up, hammer curl. Tap down, drive up, hammer curl, okay? Some people may have a preference for that kind of squat. Your other kind of squat you can do is your regular sit squat, where your toes or your feet are more underneath your hips, your toes are facing more forward, and your hands are outside. You're gonna sit down, drive up, hammer curl, okay? It's more like just the typical way you'd sit down in a chair, okay? Depending on people's knee issues and whatnot, you might have, one might be preferred over the other. Now, our seated option, leg extension, hammer curl, okay? After that, we've got single arm rows. So for 45 seconds, our seated variation, okay? We're rowing right here, okay? Thinking of using this muscle right here. That's what's initiating the movement. You're standing, you can hold on to the back of your chair, okay? Split stance, pull, okay? I'm pulling that elbow back by thinking of this moving it back, okay? Right here. All right, so let's get started. You're going to pick either seated leg extension to hammer curl, like I'm doing for round one, sumo squat with hammer curl with the weights in the middle, okay? Or a sit squat with the weights on the outside and the hammer curl. Ready and begin. Remember, with either of those standing variations, you're thinking of pressing the weight through the heel of your foot to lift yourself up. And even for this seated leg extension here, my foot is flexed, okay? My heel, I'm putting intensity through my heel so I can engage my quadriceps here. Good, we have 5 more seconds here. Then we're gonna go into single arm rows, working one arm at a time, one back muscle at a time. Good. All right, so one weight, okay? You're either gonna split stance. If you're standing, you can lean onto your chair, on the back of your chair. And if you're seated, you can lean forward. Show you from this. Here we go, pulling back. Think diagonal and up, right? Okay, as you pull it back, all right? You're leading through the elbow, but my mind muscle connection, where I'm telling the muscle to squeeze, is right here behind my rib cage in my back. That is the primary muscle you're using when you do a row. The bicep is secondary, okay? So you are working your arm too, but it's not the first muscle group you're using. 5 more seconds on this side, then we're gonna even out and do the other side. Excellent, time, okay. Same thing, other side, all right. And begin. I felt like a long 15 seconds, didn't it? Again, so where are you directing your thoughts? Are you thinking of that muscle behind the rib cage in the back? That's where I want you to say squeeze. As that elbow is driving up and back, squeeze that area in your back. The stronger we can connect our mind to the muscle we're working, the more of a muscle contraction you're going to get, the more you're able to develop that muscle. After this, we're going to start round 2. In time, okay, so we're going back to either your sumo squat, your regular sit squat, or your alternating leg extension, all with a hammer curl. Round 2, I'll do sumo, okay? Heels are outside the shoulders, knees are in the directions of the toe. I'm going to tap it down, drive through the heels, hammer. Squeezing my glutes at the top end of this. Your tempo does not have to match mine, okay? It's your body and it's your workout. You get to decide what feels best for you. And time. Good. All right. We are back to those single arm rows, either seated or standing. And some of you might even be able to take 2 of your weight. And don't do it if it's hard for your grip. You might be able to double up your weight. Just an option. You don't have to do that though. Remember, what I want you to focus on the most is that mind muscle connection. So again, when I'm pulling that elbow up and back, I am really thinking about right here. Squeeze. The lats are the largest muscle group in the upper body. And the stronger we can make these, the better our posture can become, and the more metabolic we can become as well, okay? Because it's a larger muscle group, it's gonna burn more calories at rest the stronger it is. Let's get ready for the other side. Ready, and begin. Here we go. Pull back and up. After this, we have one more round through. And for good measure, I'm just going to do the regular sit, squat, and hammer curl. So I give a demo of all 3 exercises that I've suggested here. Stay focused on that lat muscle. Last 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Okay. Final round of sit squats, sumo squats, or alternating leg extensions with a hammer curl. Okay. Sit squat for me, round 3. Ready, and begin. Still driving up through those heels. Remember, if you're doing the sumo squat variation, your dumbbells are going to be more in between your legs, just because your legs are kind of in the way. Good. 10 more seconds here, and then we have one more set of single arm rows on each side before we switch it up. We'll break and switch it up. Woo, feeling them. And time. Good. Okay. Final set of rows. Okay. Either seated or standing. All right. 1 or 2 weights. You decide what works best for you. Ready, and begin. Now remember, you can maybe the first 2 rounds you did standing, the 3rd round seated sounds like a better idea. Remember, you need to tailor this to what your body needs, okay? The important part is your consistency and the quality of your movement. So there's nothing wrong with having to pull back a little bit to maintain better quality, okay? We don't want reps that aren't with good quality, really aren't beneficial to you. It increases your chance of injury, and you're not really targeting the muscles the way they should be, okay? So don't ever feel discouraged if you have to pull back or take some additional rest, because quality trumps the quantity every time, okay? Ready? Other side, and begin. We're going to rest after this and go into our third block. We have 5 blocks total, including the warm up. All right, so this is the bottom of the second right now. Remember, mind muscle connection. We're thinking of that back muscle as we pull up and back. 10 more seconds. Last 5, 2, and 1. Okay, excellent job, guys. Take a rest, get a drink. Okay. Next block is just like last week. Your standing variations are going to be your alternating lunges. Okay. So this is about middle level right here with both hands holding onto the back of the chair. Here you're advancing it a little bit by just using, you know, one side. All right. And without anything is going to be your hardest. Okay. Now, if standing is not good, this is such a good exercise here. Okay. Our seated, we're scooping back slightly here. Okay. Holding on to the sides of our chair, whether there's arms or not. Our seated leg press. Okay. Excellent exercise for the lower body and core. Okay. So that is our first exercise. And then our second one is a side bend to alt knee twist. So that is where we're kind of side bend, twist, side bend, twist. Okay. Standing, side bend, twist, side bend, twist. So we're going to work those abdominals. If you need to bring your hands here, if it becomes too tedious or it hurts your shoulders or neck, you can bring them here. Okay. Side bend, twist. Okay. All right. So round 1, I'm doing seated. That is our alternating leg press or your standing alternating lunge. Okay. 40 seconds, 40-10 for these 2 exercises. Okay. So let's get ready. In 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. So I'm slightly scooped back so I can push something heavy away with the heel of my foot. This is one of my favorite seated variations. It's challenging and effective. Again, remember, we're always chasing the quality of the repetition over the quantity. Okay. We want consistency and quality. Okay. Versus sporadic and lots of volume, but not really done well, right? With mindfulness behind it. Good. Okay. All done with that one. Now we're going to our side bend to knee raise twist. Okay. Hands can come here or hands can come here, whatever feels better for you. So side bend, twist, other side, side bend, twist. Working obliques and abdominals, balance. Feel that waist. 2 and 1. All right. Just 2 exercises this round. So we're back to our alternating seated leg press or our alternating lunges. Okay. Ready? Here we go. Back, down, drive it up, return. Okay. Break it down if you need to here to get that quality. You don't have to rush the movement. Remember, that front leg is the one we're primarily working. Okay, and you want to keep that heel connected to the ground so you can really get into the glute. Okay, because right here is when I get into the glute. On the way down, front of the leg. Almost on our second set of lunges. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Back to our side bend to twist. Okay, hands here or here, seated or standing. Ready? Begin. side bend, twist it. Past halfway. And then we have one more round to get through. And time, okay. Final set of seated leg press, alternating or alternating lunges, okay. 3, 2, and 1. Stay present, okay, and sometimes the brain wants to work a little quicker than the body wants to move, so just try to make sure you have that, you don't have that disconnect, make sure that they're flowing together, you know what I mean? And as always, take your breaks as you need them. The timer is just a guide. If you feel like you're really thirsty, by all means, get your water, okay? That's important. Your hydration is very important. And time. Okay. Final set of side bends and knee twists, seated or standing. Remember, hands here or here, okay? Ready, begin. Side bend. Past halfway. We break after this. And time, guys. Okay, take a break. All right, get a drink. Should be feeling thirsty at this point, and maybe even your body temperature feels like it's increasing. Maybe you're starting to sweat a little bit, okay? Remember, on a scale of 1 to 10, right? 1 being like you're just sitting down watching TV, 10 like, you know, somebody just snatched your pocketbook or something and you're running after them to get it. Okay, adrenaline is going. You want to be somewhere around a 5 to a 7, depending on your level, somewhere in there. Okay, 6 is maybe ideal. All right. Okay, next block. We are still going to do, this is another 45-15, 3 exercises, okay? I did make some modifications to this because this is a really tricky one. I saw my mama struggling with this.
Yes.
Okay, so we're still gonna sit for their standing variation. I still, this position right here, okay? So right here, watch what my hips do. This is where how I think about it. Push back, okay? I wanna see this diagonal through the leg, but I want to see my shin straight up and down, okay? I don't want this, right? I don't want to go knee forward, okay? I want to go hips back, okay? And you should feel like if somebody was going to push you over, you should feel like this is a really good stable position, like it would make you feel in control of that, okay? All right, so remember, hips back versus knees forward, hips back, okay? From here, in this position, we're gonna go front, I'm going to do it there. Front, lateral, back, heel raise. Front, lateral, back, heel raise. Okay. All right. So seated, edge of the chair, front, lateral, back, heel raise. You're going to still heel raise. Okay. So it's going to look similar. You know, you're just sitting down, okay? The next one, we're going back to our double press right here. Remember this, we've been doing this one. It's a 45-degree press. We're gonna heel tap, kick back, heel tap, kick back, okay? So seated, it looks pretty similar. All right, it's gonna be heel, kick back, okay? And then our last one Okay, what we're gonna do is everyone's gonna be seated. We're going to be leaning back. I want to show this from the side because I want you to see this right here engages your core. Okay, that lean back right here, you should feel core engagement. So what we're going to do is you're going to try to extend your legs long. You can have bend in your knee tuck, knee tuck, knee tuck. Okay, knee tuck. Let me show it from the front so you can see what my heels are doing here. Okay, I'm right here, so my toes are up. Knee tuck, knee tuck, knee tuck, okay? So that's gonna be our modification for the one that was really hard last week, okay? All right, so enough talking. 45 seconds of work is going on the clock. And remember, we are starting with that right here, hips back, okay? Front, center, back, heel raise, okay? I'm gonna do the seated variation first. Let's get ready in 3, 2, and 1, okay? So front, center, back, heel raise. 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 Front, center, back. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and time. Good. Okay, now we are going to our double press. Okay, and you can do these body weight too if your weights feel too heavy. Okay, or maybe just switch to some water bottles instead. Okay, if 5 pounds feels heavy, remember it's like a 45-degree press. Heel tap, kick back, shoulders, shoulders, triceps, triceps. Keep going, guys. I'm moving forward so I don't break the furniture. That's not part of the exercise program. Whew. And time. Good. Okay, last one. Everybody takes a seat here. Make sure you have enough space that you lean back. You're kind of thinking of scooping through here, okay? You're going to extend your legs mildly long. You can have a bend in your knee though. Okay, they don't have to be outstretched. Exhale, bring it up. You can tap the heels back down to the ground each time. Focus on thinking of this, pulling that knee up, okay? Woo. Simple doesn't mean easy. Just because we can all sit down and, kind of mimic this pattern doesn't mean that it's an easy movement, okay? Woo, okay. Round 2, I'm moving to standing. Okay, we've got our front, center, back to heel raise, okay? Remember, hips go back, right here. And here we go. Tap it front, center, back. Pretend to jump. Front, center, back. Almost there. 5 seconds. And time. Okay. 45-degree double press with it all heel tap to a kickback to a kickback. Take your drinks as you need them, okay? That first exercise is surprising on the heart rate. It's unexpected. Take it to body weight if you need to. You feel your forms going? The weight feels too heavy? Okay. Do the quality reps that you can with the weight and then release it. Then keep on moving without the weight. And time, okay. Woo-hoo. All right, everybody take a seat if you're not already there. All right, so back to those kind of scooping and leaning back towards the edge of my chair so I have room to do that right here. All right, slight bend in the knee, heels on the floor, knee. All right, think of this as pulling the knee up right here. All right, think of your abs as pulling the knee up versus your knee pulling your knee up. Whew. We're past halfway, and then we're going to go through this circuit one more time. Should still feel challenging, but a little more sustainable than maybe last week. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, we have one more round. Whew. Take your drinks as you need it. I know I'm feeling quite thirsty. We're going back to that front, center, back, heel raise. 3, 2, 1. At the front, center, back, heel raise. Front, center, back. What happens by kind of staying in this half squat position is you're getting an isometric hold and challenging your quadriceps. You're challenging your legs a little harder by being in this position. And time. Ooh, okay. Final set of alternating chair knee tucks, okay? So, oh wait, yes, yeah. Thanks. Good thing my mom's here, right? Forgot. Okay, here we go. So, heel tap, kick back, kick back. Time on those. Okay, now we are on to those alternating chair knee tucks. And then we take a break. Yeah, one more block after that. Just 5 minutes after this, okay? Scoop it out. Here we go. Don't be afraid to make that funny exhale. Okay, really let the breath generate. All right. Try to push the air out of the belly. Final set of these. Good, almost there. We got 10 seconds. Last 5. 2, and time. Good job, guys. Get a drink. All right, that one definitely made me feel very thirsty. Yes. Okay, so we've got one more 5-minute block and we are done, okay? So this is our total body extension, okay? So from the seated position, I'm again towards the edge of my chair here, coming up, okay? All right, it's momentum here, okay? All right, and then when your arms get to the top, your core engagement kind of stops you right there at the top, okay? You can add your toe raise here too. All right, there's seated variation, standing, all right? Just like we were doing with the lateral out back, that's how you start, right? Your hips push back, okay? Right here, like I'm gonna jump, broad jump forward, and then I come up, okay? Your advanced option is to come up onto your toes, okay? If that is uncomfortable or you don't feel safe, don't come up to your toes, just stay flat-footed here, okay? Remember, the arms are all momentum. It's really this area, your lower back and your core and your glutes and hamstrings that you're working here, okay? All right, and then our next one, knee raise and bicep curl. Looks the same seated, okay? All right, so 40-10, 3 rounds, starting with total body extension. Let's get this done. Ready and begin. Here we go. Remember, coming up to the toes is an option, okay? Pushing those hips back like you're going to jump forward, but then you just either stand up straight or come up to your toes. This one's sneaky, okay? This one, because there's a lot of momentum, you don't realize the amount of work and power output you're putting into it. And then you stop and you're like, wow, my heart rate's pretty high, okay? So pace yourself. Again, my pace does not have to equal your pace. And time, okay? Bicep curl and knee raise. All right. Here we go. Just these 2 exercises for 3 rounds. Squeeze those biceps, feel it. Right at the top, squeeze, squeeze. Less than 10 seconds. Go back to those total body extensions. Okay. All right, that's round 1. You can remain seated if you're there. You're gonna stand and we wanna remain standing, do that. Feet underneath your hips, ready? Push the hips back. Optional up to the toes. Those arms are just along for the ride. They're like swings on a swing set. It's just pure momentum here. It's the lower body. It's the closing of the hips and the thrusting of the glutes that we're doing here. If you are able to come up to your toes, you're getting some calf strengthening in there too. Woo. 3, 2, 1. Hold. Bicep curl, knee raise. Remember, quality over quantity. You can slow down your repetitions, okay? Modify as you see fit. Start a little late, stop a little early, okay? Remember, you want to feel like you're working around a 5 to a 7 out of a 1 to 10. And a little discomfort's okay. It's okay to be a little uncomfortable in your workout. Like, man, I can't wait till these seconds are over. That's okay. But that acute pain, that's your body talking to you. It's telling you to stop. You don't want to injure yourself. Okay, 1 more round, guys. Take your drinks as you need it, okay? Total body extension, seated or standing, with or without the heel raise, okay? Each round may look different. All right, maybe you started out with the hardest variation, middle round was the middle variation, and maybe the final round was the seated variation. It's okay to play around with the levels you want to use. Five more seconds and we're done with these. 3, 2, and 1. All done with those. Final round of knee raise and bicep curl. Whew. My mom's just doing biceps. She's telling me she's feeling it here at the end. Okay, so use her modification. I wish the camera was big enough we could get us both on here. She's just right here. Okay, if you're feeling spent and that feels better, do that. We're done after this, guys. Whew, 10 more seconds. And time. All right. Take a big drink, guys. We'll stretch out here. Okay, quick stretch. Okay. So if you're standing, let's do our forward fold with our arms on the back of our chair. Okay, I like this because this really stretches out the posterior side of the body and gets into the shoulders quite nicely. Okay, if you prefer to stay seated, what I want you to do is to lean forward. Let me do it from the side. Okay. Oh, sorry, Mom. It's okay. Lean forward from the side and try to lift your arms up wherever they want to go. If they're here, that's okay. Some people, your range of motion might be right here, and that's fine. Okay. If you're I'm a little more mobile. I can bring my arms up to my ear height. Okay. We're trying to maintain that length and stay straight. We're not trying to round. Good. And relax. All right, let's go into our neck and trap. You can be seated or standing for this one here. This is just our side bend here, and we kind of give a little resistance. Gently pull and just feel that nice stretch for the side of the neck here. Good. Back to center. Same thing other side. Good. All right, let's do a lateral bend now. So now we're stretching out the side of the body here, okay? Reaching kind of up and over like where the wall and the ceiling meet. So it's not so far about how far can I bend. It's more like up and over, lengthening, okay? Good, and relax, same thing other side. Up and over, okay? So that length that we're creating versus just trying to see how far we go to the side, okay? Good, and then let's go ahead and get the lower body here a little bit. Seating variation, you can sit towards the edge of your chair. We're gonna get hip flexor and groin here a little bit. You can kind of lengthen and you're stretching through this front leg here, okay? Standing variation, you can kind of hold onto the back of your chair, right? And you're gonna sink back on one side and I'm stretching through this lengthened side, okay? Either variation. Good, when you're ready, come up to center. Or just switch sides if you're seated, switch legs. All right, same thing on the other side. Hip flexor and groin stretch here, inner thigh. You're not forcing it past any place that it wants to be. You're just kind of getting comfortable into that stretch. Excellent. Back up to center. All right, let's go ahead and bring it together. We're going to inhale up, palms together, exhale to heart. One more time. And exhale to heart. All right, guys, another class in the